Hey guys, welcome back to Punishing Grey Raven. In today's video, we're going to be doing a bit of a beginner's guide to combat. The combat in this game is actually fairly advanced and there's a lot of nuances in it that you really got to take notice of when jumping in if you don't want to get absolutely destroyed. So the first thing we're going to look at, we're just in a training simulation here. You can go to your character skills and jump into training simulations if you want to do this sort of thing and just play around. So this is the easiest way for me to show you what the general things in combat are, and then we'll go into some more of those in-depth features in a minute. So firstly, every character is going to have their basic attack that's in the bottom right. Pretty standard stuff. That's just your spammable ability. Next to it, we do have the dodge ability, and you can see when I do the dodge, it's got a white line around the very outside of it that's going to be used up every time I dodge, and you can see you basically get 4 dodges worth before you've got to, wait and let that regenerate. So you don't want to be just spamming dodges the whole time. You want to use them as optimally as you can so you don't run out of dodges and then start getting smacked. Now, above that, we do have the ability lineup. As you can see, it says 4 of 16. It means I have 4 different colored abilities. Now, every character is going to have 3 different colored abilities, all doing different stuff. In general, what I found from most of the characters is blue is generally more of a buff type ability, yellow is normally AoE based, and then red is more single target, but that's just a general feel. They can be different in the characters. But basically, these abilities, now they're called orbs, and what you can do is, what you really want to aim to do is get 3 pings on the orbs. Now every character has different passives on the way they interact with the orbs and what they want to do. We'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. However, what you really want to do is try and chain up for 3 of them at a time. So if I come over here to this guy and I start smacking him with basic attacks, you'll see that I start generating orbs. I'm up to 5 now. You don't generate orbs unless you are in combat. So you saw when I was standing around doing nothing, I generated no orbs. But once you start getting into combat, you will generate orbs. And as you can see, I've got 8 orbs on screen. However, down the bottom, it does say 11. That just means there's some in reserve, so as soon as I use some of these orbs, it's going to produce more on the screen. And like I said, you want to aim to get 3 pings of orbs, so you want to try and get 3 in a row. So the easiest one for me to do right now would probably be to burn this yellow, burn this blue, and that'll give me a 3 ping on the red. So you can do that, you can burn that, and that is going to give me the red 3 ping. Now, before we do that, this is a perfect time to demonstrate it, that if you do have 4 of them in a row and you hit the far left one, that will be used as a single. We'll keep that in mind when we talk about entering Matrix in a minute. But that's the basic way. So you'll see here, we're going to hit a 3 ping, boom, we get that, away we go. Now, I entered the Matrix. The Matrix is something that happens when you get when you do like a perfect dodge. However, I do have a piece of gear that means when I do a 3 ping, it sends me into the Matrix. And when I was in that Matrix, you might have seen the abilities flashing. When the abilities are flashing, that is when you can click even a single ability by itself. So I could have clicked, for instance, this blue one, and it would have counted as a 3 ping. So getting your perfect dodges is really helpful because it enters you into that Matrix state where you are going to get free 3 pings, which is really, really helpful in the game. So for instance, in that case, when I did have that Matrix state activated, I could have gone the blue for a 3 ping, and then it would have collapsed these 3 yellows together. I could have clicked the yellow, and then I would have had a second 3 ping, which is really nice to get that extra damage, extra bonuses. Now, that's the basics behind the skills. Like I said, and as you get above 8, they just sit in reserve, and when you use something, they will just collapse in. And then the last thing I want to look at in this combat screen is going to be the top left. We have our health bar up here, and then below that we have our energy bar, or I don't know what they actually call it, but that's going to be the energy bar that gets you towards, I can't remember what they call it, I call it an ultimate ability, but once you get that to a certain range, you're going to be able to use ultimates. For Bianca here, her ultimate can activate at 60 energy. Most characters have a 100 energy requirement, but there are a few characters that do differ. So if we just go ahead and spam on this guy, and I'll show you, I'll try and get into that Matrix. My gear has a 60-second cooldown on that effect. So I'm just going to generate some here. Like I said, I'm going to use this. I'll do this 3 ping. And you can see how they're flashing. They're flashing, which means I can use this blue one, and that actually counts as a 3 ping. And that is a really nice effect to gain advantage of. So now I've generated, as you can see, my blue bar, it's about 60% full. That gives me my 60 energy, which unlocks my ultimate, which I can then go ahead and use. And that pretty much covers the basics behind general combat and abilities. Now, I was saying before that characters do have different sort of combos that they can use. When you're in combo, you can press the pause button and it will show you the combos. So for this one here, this is going to be our core passive for Bianca. And what it's going to show you is any 3 pings is what we want to do. So 1 energy arrow will be stored in the quiver after a 3 ping. So you basically want to do 3 pings on her, and that's going to increase her ultimate damage. So you really want to focus on 3 pings no matter what they are. So when we're over here, we'll go ahead and we'll just start smacking this guy. We'll get the 3 ping happening. Don't know what's happening here. My keybinds aren't working. Okay, so we'll roll in with some 3 pings. I really suck at playing this game. Here we go. So we're going to go with this one. And you can see we've got the 1 3 ping because down the bottom we've got this arrow. And then I do another one. It puts another arrow in there. And then if I go ahead and do 1 more 3 ping, that will be my 3rd arrow. We just need a blue to drop. That'll do. Let's just do that. So now, after that, I've got my 3rd arrow in there. So that is her core passive, which gets those arrows after 3 pings, and then it's going to increase the damage dealt by her signature move. That's what they call it, the signature move, when she uses it. Now, a lot of other characters, the starting characters you get, like Lucia and... I think the 3 main characters you do get at the start all have the same core passive, where it's like after any 3 ping, then the first for Liv and Lucia, it's their red ability will get an enhanced effect, and for Nonomi, I think it's her yellow ability gets the effect. But I'll go out now and show you how to check that and check what it is, and then we'll talk about a bit more about some more advanced things in what's going on. So let's jump out of this. And as I said, you can see here, if we go over here and we look at signature item, the signature move, sorry, this is where you can check their signature move. If we go over into passives, you can see their core passive. After any 3 ping, it basically just shows you what I said when we pressed the pause button. So you can check that with any character that you have unlocked. For instance, Liv over here, if we go train and we go down here to passives and we go to core passive, after any 3 ping, the next red orb skill will unleash her laser beams that deal 400% physical damage. So that's her core passive. Every character is going to have a little bit different, but that is the general behind that. The next thing that I want to look at in combat is QTE skills. Now, I'll show you exactly what they are in a second, but to know about QTE skills, we got to know about how to proc them. And in this one, this is what we're going to look at. So you can see behind each of my characters, there is, actually, let's just remove you. Dismiss. Yeah, there we go. Let's just dismiss them all so we can show it. Dismiss. Now it's clearly you've got a red, a blue, and a yellow. Now this is going to correlate to the orbs that you ping, and when you 3 ping an ability of a certain color, you can bring out the character of that color into battle for a couple seconds to use what they call a QTE ability. So what I'll do is I'll jump in here and I'll just do my team and I'll just demonstrate it. It's the easiest way to do it. So for instance here, when I use Bianca as my main character, if I do a 3 ping yellow orb, then I'll be able to bring out whoever's in this yellow slot for like a few seconds to do their special ability, and then they disappear. So over here, I normally put my Liv, and then over here, I normally put my Nonomi. Now, I'll talk about it more in team building videos and stuff like that, but you want to correlate so that the character, like your main damage dealer, for instance, for me, best example, Bianca, her red skill is the one I use least and I care about the least. Her blue skill gives her a buff, which is really nice, and her yellow skill increases her energy, getting her to her ult faster. So the red one, I don't prioritize as much. So that means having her in the red spot where I'm not going to use 3 pings on red as much is very optimal for her. That sort of thing you got to look at. But what I want to do is I just want to jump into combat here and just show you basically what it looks like when you get that 3 ping and how you bring them out. So we'll jump here and hopefully it loads pretty quick. BlueStacks is a little slow on the loading, but it's okay. I got my phone. I just got to get some cables. I've got the capture card, I've got the cables, and then we'll be able to do it on my phone where I'm much better at playing the game. So let's hopefully load. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go over here. And what I got to do is I got to line up. I'll probably just try and dodge for a 3 ping. we kill these guys pretty quick. So there we go. So we've got them flashing. So I'm going to go 3 ping there on the yellow. And as you can see, Liv is flashing like crazy. So I can click her and she will come out. Now I can do a 3 ping on Nonomi. That was a 3 ping because it was still flashing. And she will come out and do her ability. Whereas if I do a 3 ping on red, nothing happens. And you can see they're both sort of grayed out at the moment. So it means they're not available to come in. And now they've both just sort of got the blue and yellow aura about them. That means they're available again to come in if you do another 3 ping. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try and line it up. I'll probably actually kill them before I get a 3 ping. Can we get a 3 ping, please? Wait, maybe I'll play for a dodge. I'll play for a dodge. I don't want to kill. Hit me. Oh, I dodged too quick. So bad. So bad. Okay, so there we go. Now I've got the yellow 3 ping here. That's going to allow me to bring the Liv out again. And as you can see the difference between Liv and Nonomi right now, where Liv is... Oh, I got to kill this guy quick. Whoops. Where Liv was grey and Nonomi was blue. When they have that color aura, it means they're available. But when they're flashing, it means that's when they can actually come out. And they start flashing after you do a 3 ping of that color ability. Like I said, in that example, my 3 pings were actually single uses because I was using them in the matrix when the ability flashes. Because when you're in that matrix again and the ability is flashing, it counts as a 3 ping even if it's only 1 or 2 orbs. So... that's pretty much the basics behind the Q to E skill. Now to actually look at what the QTE skill is for each character, we're going to go in here and train. You do have to have them to actually check it. And we can go upgrade and we go, we go skills down here. And then we go down over here to passives. Is it passive? No, it's in the actives. This one, QTE, the third one in the active skill list. Bianca leaps into the air and shoots 5 times at the target. Each shot deals 44.12% physical damage, yada, yada, yada. Now, that's her one. If we want to look at something like Liv, for instance, if I bring Liv in here and we go to train and we go to skills and we go over here, we go to this one, unleashes energy wave to heal nearby allies for 13.53% of her maximum health and deals damage to nearby enemies. So that's that one. And then obviously I had my Nonomi in there as well. So we'll go ahead and check her one out as well. And we go over here, whoops, this one here. And we go Q to E, spins in circles at the target, dealing 385% physical damage in total and knocks down the target. So you got a bit of CC with hers. But that is where you can go to check out what the Q to E abilities are for when you're going into, you know, building your team and stuff like that. But I will go further in depth into that kind of stuff in a future video when I talk about team building specifically. But that should pretty much cover the basics of combat. Like I said, it's a game where it looks very, very basic, but it's really advanced, and the way you play every character is going to be vastly different depending on what their passive and their core passive is and how they want to be used. For instance, Liv here, we just want to stack up 3 pings of either orange or blue and then go into single ping reds to get that big beam, and that is the main core passive around her. Whereas with Bianca, we want to spam as many 3 pings as possible and then roll into an ult, and you don't want to do 4 3 pings before you do an ult because otherwise it's wasted. So each character is going to be a little bit different, but hopefully that gets you guys the basics. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.